government and the various programs that government has tried to put up, they have serious security implications, of course. So an angry man is an angry man, right? A hungry man is an angry man. Yes. So it's important that we have this discussion. We're happy that we have him here, and he's going to have a good conversation on this. Thank you so much for joining us, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning, Jerry, and very good morning to your viewers and your listeners. I'm glad to be here. You have a very, very beautiful setup, and you look handsome as always. Very British with your with your bow tie and your braces. It reminds me of what Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did yesterday in London, in Croydon, when he met the Ghanaian community and had a town hall meeting. And just to inform the Ghanaian people that the New Patriotic Party is very poised to win the 2024 general election, and that we are in no doubt in our mind that building on the existing foundations of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, amongst all the candidates that have been presented or those that we are aware of, stands extremely tall, and that this is the very first time that we're going to have an economist of his kind to be at the helm of affairs as the executive president.
Doc, I knew you were going to go there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you've done that part.
I just need to bring special greetings to the Ghanaian people and greet the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, greet the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. This is his vision statement, which he launched in February. Very soon, I'll let you have this to read through, and I'll bring you a special complimentary copy signed by him, but you can have a look at this briefly, and then
Dr.
you can give it back to me.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for using my first 30 seconds to do your job. I mean, fantastic. Now let's get to the issues at stake. Last Friday we had a wonderful discussion with some entrepreneurs, and the idea was that we want to talk about the challenges facing the youth. There is a certain perception of hopelessness among Ghanaian youth, which is leading to people departing the shores of Ghana. And this is because the jobs are not there. From where you sit, without you being a government spokesperson, do you, among your friends, social circles, do you see that as being the case? There is a despondency and hopelessness in this country.
Jerry, what I see really is the opportunity that young people have in this country. What I see is that every single year you have close to about 450,000 young people turning 18-year-olds joining the adulthood. And what I see is a significant opportunity that each of them have to be able to harness their innate abilities that they have, to be able to do something for themselves. As a government always has to create that enabling environment to ensure that young people foster, which is why we have young agencies like the Youth Employment Agency, like the NEIP, which is very heavy on entrepreneurship, like the National Youth Authority, like the GEA, which is the Ghana Enterprise Agency, and a number of youth very focused, oriented programs that we've been able to implement. Like it or not, we've had some shortfalls with some of the implementations of one of the most largest youth programs, which is NAPCO. And that came in very strongly because we had realized there were a number of young people that were staying home that needed the skill and the ability to be harnessed. And I think that I commend President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the entire leadership team for ensuring that NAPCO became a reality. It just moved from being on paper to become a reality. And I can understand the challenges, but I do not want to focus on the challenges now. And I can also see the high rise of despondency. But I'll tell you what it is, Jerry. It's really just coming from the stem of the fact that in the next few years, Africa is going to have the highest number of young people in the world on this continent. And so clearly, with the number of people that are growing, the number of people that are having the opportunities, which is why for us as a government, we're building the foundation and setting the foundation, preparing them for the future, which is why we've introduced the STEM, which is the science, engineering, technology, and mathematics, to ensure that young people are getting themselves skilled and being ready for the job market, and also putting together this wide scale of entrepreneurship programs. We've invested heavily into the entrepreneurship environment, where we created a Youth Start initiative where we allowed young people to be able to bring their own unique selling proposition of their own ideas to be able to start projects. And this food joint, Chicken Man Pizza, was one of the young men that we sponsored as a government when when he brought in his bid. And many of them have very, very transforming stories that they share. But I can also appreciate that many young people want to have an opportunity outside the country. Each time that I travel outside, or even at the airport, I meet young people who are trying to better their life. They want to see greener patches and they want to go out there. But one of the things that I can tell them is that the grass is not greener anywhere. I know young people who are in Saudi Arabia who are doing menial jobs and they are struggling. I mean, they don't even have money to buy an airfare to come back to Ghana. One of the things that I can say very clearly as a young person is that the longer you stay in Ghana, the better your life would be. And that if you feel that the life is better, the other side is not. I mean, you can go to Europe, you go to United Kingdom, they've been going through recession in recent times. They've just come out of Brexit and the challenges are huge. You can go to Germany and the challenges are huge. Go to Asia and the challenges are huge.
It's global.
It's global. But really, however, the confidence that we can give to the young people, for me, is that we have created that enabling environment. There are avenues that young people can harness, and you don't need to come in to ask that government gives you job, but you need to come in to state very clearly, and like presidents have stated, you need to come in very clearly to say that this is what I believe that as a citizen of Ghana I can do to add my own unique selling proposition to the development of this country.
Let's pick these issues one by one. One of the first things that has been said, now that we've cleared that out of it, one of the first things is that our educational system itself is churning out graduates whose employability is being questioned by the employers. So, I mean, we might be doing the plastering of the building, but probably there are courses that we are not touching, and we're just doing symptoms management. If the graduates that are coming out are not employable, it doesn't matter your whatever you do, and YEA and EIP, they don't have the skill set. Is that not true?
I'll tell you something. You see, for those of us that are in academia and even are able to combine that with public service and a bit more governance and politics, I'll tell you something. The more we drum home the idea that our educational setting is not churning out the level of graduates who should become employed, it sticks as truth, but that's a lie. It sticks as truth, but that's a lie. I'll tell you something. Look, we have one of the best educational systems on the continent of Africa, and even by large on the sub-region of West Africa. Name the universities, from University of Ghana to University of Cape Coast to KNUST to Central University to Ashasi University.
Are they churning out employable graduates?
I'll tell you the truth. They are churning out one of the best
why
employable graduates.
And
I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you. You see, there are specific skill jobs that when you go in for, you are immediately employable. So accounting, software creation, engineering, mathematics, pharmacy, medicine, biochemistry, everything. I mean, those very specific jobs. I mean, accounting and business management and all of that. If you go in for the social sciences, it's broad. I mean, obviously, it's a pool where you need to fight for your survival. So you go in for a social science course like humanities. You do the sociology, you do the psychology, you do the linguistics, political science, classics, and all of those at the various places. That's a pool. I mean, it's like the tens and thousands of people that are all participating in that. You need to have a specific unique selling proposition that brings you above every other person.
You think that people are not choosing the right courses?
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm saying that whatever course that you are doing is specific, and it's specific to your own understanding of your goals and your aspirations and where you so desire to be. I did humanities at the University of Ghana. I did sociology, I did psychology, I did linguistics, I did political science, and I did social work. But then you need to ensure that you have a specific kind of unique selling proposition. And I know people that finish university and start up a group and start up companies. So it's about time where government has created at a level environment that many young people come together, form a consortium, put your proposals together, come to government and bid for a grant and use it to start your company.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yes, I know.
There are grants available.
There are grants available. I know people from Ashasi University who started Dream Oval, if you recall. My friends, Derry Dean and Co, Henry and Co. They finished Ashasi University and they started Dream Oval. And Dream Oval has become one of the best software agencies creating websites and doing short codes. They have this zip line and all of those, slide pay and all of that. So clearly, I think that every single young person, once you have finished university, you should ask yourself, what can I do? Before an employer will come and employ you, ask yourself, what can I do? You can start up something. And not many of us started up working immediately for government or working immediately for big companies.
If he or she is not taught this on campus and finishes service and is sitting, I mean, he or she is already not in the right frame of mind.
Jerry,
let me read this to you. Let me read a World Bank report. Let me just pick a paragraph. Many graduates of vocational and technical schools and universities lack the skills desired by employers, such as analytical and critical reasoning, communication skills, information and communications technology competencies, a strong work ethic, and entrepreneurship. This is World Bank report about Ghana. They talk. This is like a school report on this country. We are churning out people who lack these competences. Listen, he's talking about.
I disagree.
Analytical and critical reasoning.
I disagree entirely with the World Bank report, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because every single semester, I'm aware that all the universities cut across in this country ask their students to go and do internship. Every single semester, I'm aware. When I was going to school, it wasn't like that.
And how well are these internships being done?
No,
what reports are being brought back?
No, hold on. I mean, I think in recent times, if any of the academics are listening, those internships are now graded. Those internships are a scoring internship. Because it's important. When we were going to the university, internship was not a big deal. For those of us that harnessed ourselves to go and do internship and got internship letters from our school, were the extraordinary people in the school all the time. But now it's mandatory, almost mandatory, that once you are in your first year or second year or third year, you must go for internship. And many companies allow for internship. I don't know. I'm sure, Zed, you have interns here. I go to places and I meet a lot of interns. And once you start an internship journey, and you churn out very, very good character and attitude and behavior, and your employer likes you, in your next internship, they will request for you. If they like you more, they will request for you to do your service there. If they like you more, after service, they would employ you. And so government has put that journey together. The educational setting has put that journey together.
You think it's the individuals?
I think it's the individuals. Because see, I'll tell you one truth. There was one young person I was going to give an internship opportunity in a company in East Legon. He mentioned to me that he lives far away at Kotobabi, and so he cannot come and do internship at East Legon. He wants to do internship at Dansuman because it's closer to him or her. You understand? So I think that is really about the individual. I know people who are supposed to do internship, especially in the media fraternity, who go to GIJ or go to this media school around Achimota or so, and they are supposed to do interns. They expect that in the internship they must be paid. But I always tell you, it's at a risk and a cost for every employer to allow you to be around because you have no skill. But you must pay the employer. So I really think it's the mindset of the people. So they enjoy staying at home rather than going to take internship opportunities, so that when you come to your main job and you look at your CV, we can be able to see you did this internship, you did this, then we can go like, okay, you have a diverse background, for which reason we can put you here. But then if you have not done any of these internships and you're thinking that once you're done with national service and you're competing with the tens and thousands of people and you have not done internship and 5,000 people have done internship and they have the skills and they have the relationships and they can be able to bring business, even if they pick you as a sales agent, what's your network to be able to bring business? Because that's the goal.
One of the things that has been leveled against government creating employment for youth in whether it's direct or indirect is the fact that there's always political interference. So from skills training and employment placement 2003, NYEP National Youth Employment Program 2006, GIDA 2012, YEA 2015, NAPCO 2018, Youth in Agric, and YES Youth Enterprise. What is the justification for the lack of continuity of these things? Something tells me that if a new party comes to power, a lot of these agencies that we're talking about, maybe even an EIP might be out. What is the justification for this?
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned GIDA and all of those. Those are in the SWAL NDC government. They've always politicized issues. Our government and the government, that's very true. I mean, that's very true. Our government and the government of the New Patriotic Party and Boakye-Danquah Kufuor and Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we are for the Ghanaian people. All the projects.
It's good that you brought that up. There's a listener who sent a message. He said, in this economy, free internship, the transport charges, etc. This is a listener, a young man who sent us this, that what we are saying is not realistic.
No, you see, that's what he's failing to see. Mm-hmm. Because let's give an example. Let's use ZED. You want to do internship and you want ZED to pay you when you have no skill. if ZED is paying Jerry, ZED cannot pay you as an intern. Because ZED is giving you the experience and the exposure you need. You're reading news for the very first time in your life, and they're correcting your diction and correcting your speeches and correcting your posture and asking you to pronounce it in certain ways so that listeners can be attentive to it. It is out of those internship that someone will say, we like your voice, so come and do a voiceover, and we'll pay you 100 cedis for doing a voiceover for a motor business. And things like that. So that's the mindset I'm talking about. If you say in this economy, you don't want to do internship that can prepare you for your own future, you stay at home. But someone is doing it. And so really, it's a win-win situation. If you stay at home, you won't get to be employed. If someone hustles, it's like the way you go to school. In this economy, people go to school and pay school fees. In this economy, because they want to be educated. And so if in this economy you want to be employed, you should take the risk.
Okay.
Go for internship.
Your programs, which you said are better. What metrics or what indicators does this government use to measure the effectiveness of its youth employment initiatives, and what progress has been made towards achieving these targets?
It's simple. It's the number of people that have been undertaken through the various programs that we have launched. You are aware that just last week, and tears came down my eyes whilst I observed it. Are you going to the Kaya? I have to.
The Kaya
I have to. I mean, tears went down my eyes. You know, Jerry, I don't know how you would feel if for the very first time in your life you wear a gown. It's the pride of life. Why is it that kindergarten children wear gowns when they are graduating from nursery and going to lower primary? It's the pride of life. We are teaching them that scholarly work is good. Tears went down my eyes. Who would have thought in their lifetime that they will wear a gown? Today, they can put that picture in their homes and people will see that of a truth. My mother, my brother, my sister, my cousin, my auntie, my uncle has gone ahead. It's the pride of life. It's the models that we set.
I wasn't going to bring the Kaya thing, but since you've gone there, let's go there. Two things. It's been argued that you cannot use 1 month to train somebody to become that good for someone to pay in all the things that you listed. Pedicurists and manicurists.
Can I tell you something?
And
what people don't know, it takes 21 days to form a habit. They should check their research.
Yes, but that's just a habit.
No.
Not how to be a manicurist.
No. 21 days to form a habit. Mm-hmm. Okay? It takes 21 days. That's 3 weeks.
Okay.
In that same 21 days, it takes you to be able to learn a skill. For 21 days, consistently, a barber can be taught how to do barbering in 21 days and you get a skill.
Okay.
Look at these driving schools that we go to. You don't learn how to drive for 1 year. It doesn't happen anywhere. Then you are dump.
Okay.
Very much so. So it takes 21 days to train out a skill. It takes 21 days to transform people. If I employ you and in 21 days I see your habit, I know that is the consistency with which I will have. If I see a bad habit, I know it's going to be the consistency. I clear you off immediately. I don't waste time on you. But if I employ you and I see in 21 days, you have asserted yourself. I said that work starts at 8. And in 21 days, I see you come to work every single day at 6 a.m. I know you are an astute person. But if every single day of the 21 days, you're coming to work at 8:15, 8:30, and you're telling me that there's traffic, there's this. But somebody woke up early and came.
So your argument is that the 1 month is good enough time?
In fact, it's more than enough because they have actually gone beyond.
Okay.
In 21 days, check the research. Check Steve Jobs. Check them. Jim Collins. Check the research. The global research that has been done. In 21 days, a habit is formed. Anything more than that is a waste of time.
Dr. Boakye-Danquah, government spokesperson, governance and security. They were supposed to have been given some 1,000 CDs or something. As at the time they were graduating, their money, there was not. They said they would give them a balance. First of all, what are they going to do with 1,000? Because according to those on the ground, the 1,000 cannot set them up in any way, even depending on regardless of what they were taught in this 21 days or 1 month.
You see, Ghanaians are very luxurious. That's what I would say. Ghanaians are very, very luxurious. You know, I believe in starting small and going big. Jerry, you and I did not begin like this. Very much so. When I began, I was not wearing this kaftan. I was a schoolboy going to school. You recall when I was at the University of Ghana, I'll tell you one truth. I used to do some work at Radio Universe. That's how I was interviewed on Metro TV by Paul Adomotri when there was a demonstration in my school. And that's how I became media friendly. It started then. These Ghanaians are too luxurious. The luxury is too much. Do you know how much 1,000 cedis is? Do you know how much it is to put in investment into an unskilled person who now becomes a skilled person? Do you know how much it is to put 1,000 cedis into the hands and say, start up something? Do you know the money that has been invested in what they have already produced? And the fact that government is saying we are linking them up to industry that industry can buy from them. Do you know that the Bostal homes and the prisons, the one just around Jolu thereabout, do you know that they go into craftsmanship as well?
Yeah.
That people buy their things. I think that Ghanaians are too luxurious. I believe in hard work. I'm a proponent of hard work. And I'm a proponent of starting small and growing big. And I'm in no doubt in my mind that give these people who have just graduated from this skill enhancement program, give them 3 years, give them 4 years, give them 5 years, and bring one of them to your studio and you have a success story.
The figures are still not coming down as they should in terms of reducing the unemployment figures, because the kinds of businesses that can break in employment for the masses are still not there, like, industry, agri, and all that. What has been the challenges that this government, because I don't want us to go too far, what has been the challenges of this government in addressing the numbers as they should have?
Jerry, the major challenge is that the young people want a lot of options. And in their optionability, they are losing sight that you must start somewhere. Mm. And so nobody wants to go into farming. Young people don't want to be attached to farmers. But I'm a proponent of the fact that the end of life in wealth is farming. But young people don't want to go into farming.
Yeah, because if he gets to the village, there's no internet access for him to even, there's no light for him to charge his phone.
That's not true. I know farming who are doing tech farming.
Of course, definitely.
I'm telling you the truth. And so young people think that there should be a lot more optional ability, which is why the gentleman who sent you the text message that in this economy, how can I intend? But in this economy, you are able to transport yourself from one nightclub to another nightclub. That's the truth. Go to the pubs and see on weekends. They are boozing and chilling. That's why I tell you that Ghanaians are luxurious. They're too luxurious. I believe in hard work. You understand? So
don't you stand the risk of offending a very important group, the youth, by saying these things? Are you not worried?
No, I think that I stand the chance of challenging their thoughts.
Rather.
Yes, I stand the chance of challenging their thoughts. I stand the chance of telling you that if you leave a Malam, take a risk of going to do an internship at Agbalimpe. That's what I stand the risk of. By challenging you, do you recall when internet came into this country? It was very difficult to afford internet. You recall when the internet is loading, it loads in blocks, and then it will come. Busy internet was one of the places where you cannot afford to go and browse. If you recall, when we had Facebook and High Five and all of those, and Skype, I took the risk to leave my village house and come to busy internet at Circle to browse, and I could browse for only 30 minutes because it was too expensive. And do you know the people I met there? I met KSM. I met big people, Kweku Bako. I met Kwesi Sinti Misa. I met great people over there. I took that risk. I introduced myself to them. And we became friends. Today, we've had long standing of friendship. That if I need anything, I can call on any of these people. So take the risk. So I stand the risk of challenging these young people that are listening to me. Because I'm Ghana made. Full Ghana made. Born, bred, developed here. So if I can do it, everybody can do it. Yes, if Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from Wale Wale, the man from Wale Wale, can rise up all the way from Wale Wale to become deputy governor of the central bank, rise up to become the head of the Africa Development Bank in Zimbabwe, redenominate the currency of Zimbabwe. I tell you, in Rhodesia, let me bring it in. In Rhodesia, the then Zimbabwe, my brother, look, you could buy one loaf of bread for $1 Zimbabwean trillion.
He went to change there.
Exactly. He changed that narrative. A man from Wale Wale.
It's always risky when we bring the narrative into that, especially because of the times we find ourselves in. Let's handle this thing and handle it well. I'm a young man. I have listened to Dr. Palgrave, Boakye-Danquah, government spokesperson. I'm challenged, like he said. He's challenged me. But I'm in a community where I see the politicians, the state officials, living in largesse and driving the big cars and all that. How am I being challenged when I think the thing is not trickling down to me? How am I being challenged? Do you appreciate an individual, a young man who is finished school, hasn't got a job, and is frustrated because he saw the MP, he voted for the MP. The MP was driving a little car. Now the MP has 5 four-wheelers.
What I will say is that you cut your coat according to your size.
Oh, right.
Yes, that's what I will say. See, these MPs that look, the work is very difficult. I ran for an election in January. I lost. There were 5 people that stood. I was third, so I made a good attempt. But the demands are huge. I used my own money, investment of my money. I could have used it to do anything. I'm a young person. But because of my desire to want to help my constituency, I went into an election. I lost that election. But I've not lost the people because they still call me. Every single morning, I want rent. Every single morning, I want money. Every single morning, my school fees has not been paid. Every single morning, there's a funeral upcoming. And so really, you talk about politicians and you talk about an MP who was voted into power. Do you know that those cars that they drive are loan cars? They are loan cars. They are deducted from their salary over a period of time. They are loan cars. Ghanaians must know that. And so really, there's no need or recourse to envy a politician because whatever he's driving are loan cars.
Okay, going forward, what are the specific policy initiatives, interventions that this government is looking at putting into place to ensure that a larger chunk of our youth become employed?
I'll tell you the truth. Like I stated, in the years to come, Africa is going to be the highest number of youth.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and everybody is going to look for resource on this continent. The entire world is going to look for resource on this continent, which is why for me, when I see that young people are moving from one country to another country, it's not a problem because then it's beginning to show off that the resource is here. There are many people that are branching into academia, and when I say academia, I'm even going as low as basic and junior high and senior high. And they are beginning to do this international curriculum, like the IB, like the Cambridge and the American curriculum. And I would encourage many young people that if you have done a degree and you don't even have a teaching background, take your mind into those international curriculum, because in recent times the IB Global World had their board meeting in Ghana maybe about 2 months ago, and they are looking into recruiting from Africa, really a huge resource from Africa into the rest of the world, because IB has become a big thing. For us as a government, one of the things that we are doing is that, like I stated, we put together the Youth Start Initiative. We put together the National Entrepreneurship Program. We have some funds from World Bank and the Ghana Enterprise Agency. NYA is also having a lot of interventions and projects for young people that can be enrolled on. And then the National Youth Authority as well is doing likewise. One of the things that I can say is that young person, when you pick your phone, stop going onto websites that are needless. Go onto these websites, look for those opportunities, prepare a proposal, prepare a CV, drop it down, follow it up over and over again. That door will open for you.
How can the government ensure sustainability and continuity of its youth employment initiatives beyond political cycles and changes in leadership?
It's LI. It's just a legislative instrument that you need. But I'm very certain that in this election, that the New Patriotic Party is going to win again. There's continuity, so long as you vote for Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
You never waste an opportunity to...
Not at all, Jerry.
Yeah, I realize that. You're doing your work, and you're doing it very well. There are many youth who are listening to us who are really frustrated, and they don't see any change coming. We cannot just discount their feelings and say, yes, you vote for us and all that. When we come into power, or when we stay in power, we'll do this and that and that. How do you convince such a young man that he shouldn't leave the shores of the country and that things would be better?
It's very simple. if you get an opportunity to travel and you're going to do schooling, you should take advantage of that.
Okay.
If you think that you get the opportunity to travel and you're going to do labor work, even as a degree holder, you shouldn't go. The world is not as it used to be years ago, where people would go and work and school and be able to make ends meet. When you go and you don't have paper, especially because of how digitalized the world has become, you will not survive. When you come back many years afterwards, your friends would have gone way ahead of you. I would advise that the longer you stay in Ghana, the better your life can be. And so take advantage of the programs and projects that government has put in place. Put your ears to the ground. Go to the various websites of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, the NEIP, NYA, YEA, GEA. Go to all those websites and make sure that you are following through the various projects and come together as a team and apply for good grants that is available and set up your own industry and organization. And I'm very certain that as you do that, government always will create that enabling environment for you.
Unfortunately, I thought I was going to be the last question, but there's a long text here, and I'm going to read it to the fullest so that this coming from another listener. He said, "It seems to me that this government truly does not care about the youth. How many of the youth can afford to go to nightclubs, he claims? Is he using Accra as the case? This government is so detached from the reality of the youth, and every time they get opportunity to even say something to give us hope, they gaslight us to make it seem like our challenge are not real or are self-imposed. Young people wake up every morning and apply to jobs till night, but still nothing. The busy internet he says he went to, a youth can go and sit in front of the most strategic place in Ghana, meet big people, but where are the opportunities for them to even offer you? I know many friends who know and maintain good relationship with big people, but still no opportunities are there for them to even offer." Dr. Boakye-Danquah, would you, in the very least, appreciate where this young man is coming from? Or you still think it is the problem of the youth, not the systems that have not been put in place for the youth? The Ghanaian youth is not clubbing. That's what he's saying.
It's a marrier of the two. The Ghanaian youth are clubbing. I'm telling you. No, take
He said there is no money to club.
No, it's not true. I mean, I don't know where you were this weekend. I drive around and I see many cars parked at the various nightclubs, and not just in Accra. In Kumasi, in Eastern region, everywhere. People are chilling. I'm telling you. You understand? But I think that that's not really the substance of the issue. Mm-hmm. I can understand the realities that people are struggling.
Fantastic.
I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But all I'm trying to say is that put yourself up for more service and you get the opportunities that you need. That's it. Put yourself up for more service. Look, last week a young man called me and he said, "Honorable, I'm going to apply for a visa to go to the United States of America. And I wanted to tell you for you to advise me." I said, "I don't think you should go to America now. Because if you stay longer in this country, you would get better opportunities." And he said, "Honorable, I had not akin my mind to the thoughts that you are bringing to me this morning." And I said, "Yes, because you are my friend. You're a younger person. You're a skilled person. But every time you want to do something for me, you want to charge me 100 cedis or 200 cedis or 300 cedis. You understand? But you can decide to do these things for me for free, okay? And then when you need a big help, I can offer that help for you." That's what I always tell my friends. I tell my driver that if I employ you and I want to pay you 1,000 Ghana cedis and you say that it's too small, but the time that you need money for rent and you come to me, I'll give you that big money. So suffer to gain. Basically, that's all I'm saying.
Dr. Palgrave, Boakye-Danquah, government spokesperson on security and governance, he's been with us on ZED Talk. We're talking about the youth unemployment, the programs that government has put in place. The challenges encountered by youth in this country are enormous, and the fact is that we all face them. High transportation costs, like someone has just said, their business environment, lack of relevant experience on their part as well. So it's a combination of the two. The individual itself and then the systems that are supposed to be in place. Beyond the electioneering and the sloganeering and all that, the Ghanaian youth is still struggling. And so sometimes I can understand this gentleman saying that it looks like you and your people are cut off from the reality. When you meet somebody who says you don't you don't understand what we are going through because now you have a driver and you don't buy fuel and you give him fuel for free and all that. What do you tell these people?
You know, Jerry, if I have to tell you the truth, and I'm sure my colleagues who are communicators will tell you, we don't have the largesse that people think we do have. What we do not do is that we don't complain, and so people don't know. I'm not on a fat salary like people think I do. In fact, I'm not even a staffer at the presidency. I'm a simple communicator, just very simple communicator at the low level. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm a simple communicator at the low level. I don't have a driver who drives me. I have a driver who drives my children because my children must go to school and I must go to work. So I don't have a driver who drives me. I'm not having the largesse that people think that I must have. I'm not on any fuel coupon from anywhere. And so are my colleagues. None of us. I don't drive any government official vehicle. I don't have it. I don't live in a government official bungalow. I don't have it. And so really, you see, when people look at you, they can judge you by how you look. But that's not the reality. You know, I tell you that you dress very well, Jerry. You wear beautiful bow ties, beautiful suspenders, and your goggles. It matches so well. Do you know that you can be employed just because of how you dress?
Oh, wow.
Yes. And do you know that even, I mean, you work with ZED now. You are paid a certain amount of money. Do you know that nobody knows your amount of money that you are paid? When BBC confronts you and asks for you to come and work, do you know you can triple your salary and tell them that this is how much you earn at the triple amount? And so really, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, in my next steps, imagine that I want to go and work with the UN. And I'm not saying I want to, but imagine. And I get to the UN and I say, I've been spokesperson for the government on governance and security. And the UN does not know how much I'm paid. And and if they find out, it will be something very minimal. And then the UN says, so how was your expectation? That's okay. If you give me like $50,000, I'll be fine. And they look at my output of what I've done. And they're like, well, yes, we'll give $50,000. Report for us, work for us, be a UN correspondent in Sudan. You think I would not go? So really, for me, I think that is how you package yourself. You see, that's why I said that the Ghanaian young people live in too much luxury.
You genuinely believe from the bottom of your heart that there are opportunities for Ghanaian youth in this country.
I genuinely believe that there are opportunities for Ghanaian people, Ghanaian youth in this country.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one truth. There are many elderly people who are in their 40s and 50s who are starting up private companies. And they don't want a large team. They just want a team or two of people, if those people will be diligent. If you get that opportunity, don't cut corners. Do it diligently and you will get there. So my advice to young people really is that, look, have a good mindset to want to serve. Don't have a mindset to want to come and cut corners and make it in one day. It's not going to happen. You understand? Try to go through the grill. And look, if I can divert a little bit, the acrylic and the eyelashes and all those things, minimize it. The wig and all those, minimize it. I mean, seriously, if you need to cut your hair, cut your hair. Live a very simple life. Why do you think that when you're in high school, they ask you to cut your hair? Because it's too expensive to keep a hair. And so cut it down. Those acrylic and all of those things, that if you eat it for food, you can't eat it. You know, and if you're washing, you can't wash it. I am saying to the many young people, and I'm sure that one day I'll come back again, not as a politician, but come back again to talk about social issues. And we can advise the young people. My general advice, cut your coat according to your size. It's simple, simplicity.
Simplicity, so says Dr. Palgrave Boakye-Danquah. Yes, it's true. I know. I am being reminded, but I know I've gone into the final hour, the fourth and final hour of the show without permission. It was an interesting conversation. The government's spokesperson on governance and security was in the studios. We had to exhaust it. Yes, thank you so much for coming through, and I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you, Jerry.
Have a great one. We'll bring you back. We'll have another conversation in another time.